welcome back to my channel, Emily Reads. I apologize, I planned on doing some weekly updates this month of September. However, I did not do that. Mid-September, September 13th to be exact, I got some news. A good friend of mine of over 16 years, she passed away after 2 months of battling as Mike from Mike's Book Reviews likes to put it, the virus that shall not be named. She battled that for 2 months. She was on a ventilator, she was on ECMO, so I found out that she passed away. So I did not create content, I just read, and my September TBR changed as I was working through grief and just needing to do some lighter reading and getting lost in a good story. So that being said, I'm going to share with you what I read the month of September and what I plan on reading for October. So this month started off really good. I finished Ship of Magic by Hobb. This is the first book in the Life Ship Trader series, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Looking back, I probably would actually give it a 4.75, and the reason why is, while I know that they are important, I did not care for any of the scenes with the sea serpents, and I know that they are important to the story. I just did not care for them, did not have a bond with them, just was kind of like, meh, they're there. They're important, I know that, but I just don't care for them. But overall, really enjoyed this. This book is about, it's the second trilogy in Robin Hobb's realm of the Elderling series, and it features Althea and her family. And Althea is fully expecting to inherit her family's ship, the Vivacia, I believe is how you pronounce it. Her father is dying, and once he dies on the decks of the ship, he's the third generation to die on that deck, and because her ship is made out of wizard wood, once 3 successive generations die on the ship, then the ship becomes alive, and she's expecting to inherit this ship. However, her family instead gives the ship over to her brother-in-law, Kyle, because he's got plans for the ship and how to get the family out of debt. And at the beginning, you enjoy, like, I appreciated Kyle and his plans, what he was doing. However, he, as in this book and in the next book, he just is despicable. So Althea runs off and she seeks her fate elsewhere. In addition, this is about a pirate named Kenneth who desires to find a live ship and capture it and have it become his own, and he also wants to become a pirate king. Thoroughly enjoyed this book. Now the next 2 books I read, I don't have, I checked them out on ebook from my library. The first book was To Sir Philip with Love by Julia Quinn, and the next book was When He Was Wicked, which I think were book 5 and 6 in the Bridgerton series, or maybe they're 4 and 5, I don't know. At any rate, they're books in the Bridgerton family series, and I read them years ago when they first came out, and then I just started reading them again because of the Netflix series, and I just needed something light and happy, where I knew that in the end, everyone will live happily ever after, and that's what they are. So if you're looking for something light and happy, I do recommend them. Then the last book that I read in the month of September was The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb, which is the second book in the Live Ship Trader series. You can see I tabbed it, and these are all parts of the book where it's like, ooh, this is something like important that reveals about this character and their plans, or oh, this is important that relates to Wizardwood and how it relates to sea serpents and dragons and I don't know what all. But this continues on with the story of Althea and her family and how are they going to get out of debt. I don't want to say too much, because it will be spoilery for what happened in the first book. But it continues on with the story. In the first book, you just don't like Malta, who is Althea's niece. She is spoiled, rotten brat, and she just needs a rude awakening in life. Malta, she starts growing. She does become a little bit more mature, and she actually plays a pretty pivotal role. And I'm sure we're going to develop her, that Robin Hobb will develop her character even further in the next book. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Althea and Bracian and Vivacia and Paragon, just all the different characters. And Kennett the pirate, while he is quite vile, I do enjoy reading the scenes with him because he's a man with a plan and he is able to carry out the plan quite effectively. So I appreciate that about him. However, I'm one of those people who likes to know what happens, and so I was like, oh, I need to know what happens with Althea and with another character in the book. So I searched the internet and I found out what happens. But then I also found out kind of what happens to her in book 3. And so I'm a little nervous about reading book 3, but I also know it's going to be really good. That being said, for the month of October, I'm going to continue on with my Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I took a slight break with it. One of those books did fulfill the longest book on your TBR prompt for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I do plan on reading some more books for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. My first book is just, I needed to stay lost in a good story, simply because my friend's funeral is this upcoming Saturday. So in order to stay lost in a good story, I'm going to continue on with Ship of Destiny, which is the 3rd book in the Live Ship Trader series. Cannot wait to finish this. It's 800 plus pages long, 900 pages long. It's going to take me a while, but I just cannot wait to finish this. The next book I plan on reading, books are falling everywhere, is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is fulfilling the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge prompt of published anonymously. I have never read this book. I was an English major and I've never read it. And I found this for $10 at Barnes & Noble. It's not hardback, it's not softcover, it's kind of like a pleather, I don't know. But it was $10 and I figured I can read this like 5 pages a day and I'll finish this by the end of the month. And the reason why I said 5 pages, the writing style is different, it's a little more dense, and my brain right now is just not up for having to think through and process things. I just want a good story. So I figure I can manage probably 5 pages a day in this. The next book I plan on reading, sorry, I had a book that fell, is The Book of the Dung Cow by Walter Randgren. This is an allegory about good versus evil, and it's set on a farm with farm animals. I'm not a big allegory fan. I discovered this after I read Animal Farm the last couple of years. Don't really care for allegory. However, this is fulfilling a book that's been on your TBR pile for the longest. I've had this book since 2003, and I have not read it yet. And I didn't get rid of it because it has sentimental value. So I did a year-long mission trip in Philadelphia, and my city director at the end of our time there, he gave each and every one of us a book that he picked out especially for us. And he picked this book out for me because he knew I wanted to be a teacher, which I am. I'm a high school special education teacher. So I kept this for the memories of that and of him, and now I'm going to finally read it. The next book I plan on reading fulfills my DNF prompt on the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, and that is Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert. I started reading this in the spring, in May to be exact, after I had gallbladder surgery. And Dune Messiah is not a book to read when you are sleeping for like 4 hours and you're waking up and you're just kind of in and out of it, because it's very political and lots going on. So I stopped reading it because I realized I really have no clue what's going on because I'm so out of it. So I want to read this, especially since the first movie is coming out in October. Cannot wait to see it. And then my last book does not fulfill any prompts on the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, and that would be Elias Grace by Margaret Atwood. I simply am picking this up because I got this super cheap at a used bookstore. I think I got it for $1, maybe $2 max, and it looked pretty much brand new, and I thought it'd be a great read for October, especially since this is about a woman who is a convicted murderess, but she's also in an asylum in the 1840s, and I thought it'd be nice and spooky and thrilling, and also I just appreciate Margaret Atwood. I enjoyed The Handmaid's Tale and just how she's able to discuss societal issues. So I'm looking forward to this read. That is all I have for October. I hope you have many happy readings. Let me know in the comments below what you plan on reading this month. Have a good night.